The new way of geometry, mathematics and physics of me, Romano Amodeo, an Italian epistemologist, father of these three new ways that I have called Amodea geometry, Amodea mathematics, and Amodea physics. I'll say of myself in third person, showing to you my contribution, and I think is of the greatest importance. This epistemologist, architect for his origin, applied himself to unify all the units of physics by using one unit, only the number 1, or the ratio n on n between opposite conditions as matter and antimatter, electricity and magnetism, real and imaginary, space and time, positive and negative dimensions in their indexes. So, he fixed this general axiom in the application regarding geometry and math. In every ratio of the type n divided by d, the unitary derivation cannot divide n and d numbers under the unit in decimals, which represent no more spaces of 1, but times of 1. When, as in the ratio 100 divided by 6, the division gets 16 every one, the residual 4 number has the meaning of the unitary dimension of the servant that carries the divided data, like the waiter that is bringing the dishes at the restaurant. His service, the tip, like the indivisible rest of the division. Romano Amodeo understands that in the 10 numeration, the unit 1 works like the waiter who brings the 9 units alone of the motion. In fact, he affirms, the invariant number of the decimal system is the number 9, useful to the proof of the 9 and to the slide rule. Therefore, in every cycle of the math, this one waiter exists, works, and brings the 9 data like the dishes at the restaurant. This is the fundamental reason that does in way that 11 tens are 1 unit. In fact, 11 times 9 gets 99 units, where one waiter alone brings the 99 dishes, getting together the absolute 100. Amodeo affirms that the residual obtained in every division, it is numbering the waiters involved in that operation. For example, in 100 divided by 6, that is equal to 16 every one, the 4 remaining are 1 waiter as the time, and 3 waiters as the 3-dimensional space. For Amodeo, 100 can be the product between plus 10, that is advancing, and minus 10, that is returning, of the interaction between action and reaction, which is at the base of every real dynamic. In this meaning, 100 represents all the motion's energy in one line. It is real one, so that when this total energy of the dynamic cycle in line is divided among the 6 directions, 3 positive and 3 negative, of the orthogonal space of the representation. The 16 divided quantities are brought by the 4 weisers of the same reality. By consequence, while the math allows to divide these weisers, we really cannot do it, since only 16 quantities were really brought by the 4 real weisers. If we hear the math lesson without putting in use our own intelligence, we arrive to divide also the weisers. Amodeo affirms that this is the fundamental reason of every derivative unit of physics, which is containing today decimals. Also, the necessary weisers were divided. For Amodeo, the same π is only 3, since what was divided in it was the weisers. This obtains that the volume of the earth, having 40 millions of meters of circumference, has a virtual radius only of 40 divided by 6 and equal to 6 with 4 as residual. This residual 4 is the reality of the weisers, the space-time having 4 dimensions, so that the sphere, having the formula of 4/3 of p divided by the radius raised to 3, for p equal to 3 and the radius equal to 6, has the exact worth of the 864 of the volume of space. That is the same number 864 in hundreds of the volume of the second minutes that are contained in one day. Amodeo says that only in this way the geometry is able to refer to a geometry which occupies the unitary time of 1 second. The geometry of Euclid establishes pure spaces without time duration, and it is wrong to use it in our advancing time. So, Amodeo opens the Amodea geometry, in which P is 3, and every quantity must be integer quantities at its unitary size. For example, the unitary size of the Earth is the 10 raised to 6 meters of its complex volume, 10 raised to 3 multiplied by 10 raised to 3. Today the radius through p equal 3.14 is valued 6 and decimals at that size. So, according to the Amodea geometry, the quantity that is really divided is only 6. Today we have the decimals because of through the division of the poor weisers divided by Archimedes, when, being p 180 degrees, he did not divide the 180 degrees of the straight angle in the 60 times, the times existing in our minute time, in order to may have 3 diameters exact as the straight representation of the curve. So, the Amodea geometry allows to itself to correct the P of Archimedes when we have to describe it in the time. We cannot take a straight, which is the orthogonal projection of the circumference on it, and curve it like the circumference. In fact, at the end of this action, we have the mismatch between the circumference and its full projection, which is one integer diameter. We have the full violation of every possible trigonometry. In fact, referring to the 90 degrees of the first trigonometric quadrant, on the diameter we have its radius as all the cosinus of 90 degrees equal to the sinus of 0 degrees. Well, this line of the radius curved as the angle doesn't arrive to run the 90 degrees of all the vertical projection of the radius. The real curvature of the diameter, which is a straight on the curved circumference, is not admissible. P, the exact P in the dynamic, can be obtained only by the straight angle, which has been flattened in 180 degrees.